Have you ever wondered what a dollar could buy your great-great-grandparents? Imagine stepping back in time to the 1860s, a period when the world was vastly different from what we know today. The streets were filled with horse-drawn carriages, and the general stores were the heart of the community. A single dollar back then had a purchasing power that might surprise you. It's fascinating to think about how much has changed over time. The transformation of our cities, the evolution of our lifestyles, and the advancements in technology have all contributed to a world that would be almost unrecognizable to our ancestors. The value of money, too, has undergone a significant transformation. What seems like a small amount of money today could have gone a long way in the past. For instance, in the 1860s, a dollar could buy you a substantial amount of groceries, enough to feed a family for several days. Today, that same dollar might only get you a single item, like a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk. This is all because of something called purchasing power. Purchasing power refers to the amount of goods and services that one unit of currency can buy. Over time, due to factors like inflation and economic growth, the purchasing power of money changes. Simply put, purchasing power is the value of your money. It's a concept that helps us understand the real value of our earnings and savings. When we talk about the value of money, we're really talking about what that money can buy. It's about how much you can actually buy with a certain amount. In the past, a dollar could stretch much further, allowing people to purchase more with less. Today, due to inflation, that same dollar doesn't go as far. Think of it like this. Money is like a magical key that unlocks goods and services. This key, however, has changed in size over the years. In the 1860s, it was a large, powerful key that could open many doors. Today, it's a bit smaller, opening fewer doors. But the size of the door that key can open changes over time. Sometimes the door is grand and wide, allowing access to a wealth of goods and services. Other times, it's just a small entryway, limiting what we can obtain. Sometimes the door is grand and wide. Other times, it's just a small entryway. This fluctuation in purchasing power is influenced by various economic factors, including inflation, supply and demand, and changes in the cost of living. Understanding how this door changes can help you make smarter decisions with your money, both now and in the future. By being aware of the factors that affect purchasing power, you can better plan your finances, save more effectively, and make informed investment choices. Whether you're looking at the past or planning for the future, the concept of purchasing power is a valuable tool in navigating the ever-changing landscape of our economy. Let's travel back in time to 1860. Imagine a world without cars, smartphones, or the internet. The streets were filled with horse-drawn carriages, and people communicated through letters that took days, if not weeks, to arrive. The pace of life was slower, and the rhythm of daily activities was dictated by the rising and setting of the sun. Life was simpler then, and so was the economy. People relied on local markets for their goods, and most transactions were done in cash. There were no credit cards or digital payments. The value of money was tangible, and every coin and bill had a weight that people could feel in their hands. A single dollar in 1860 had significant purchasing power. It wasn't just a piece of paper. It was a gateway to a variety of goods and services that could sustain a family for days. It could buy a surprising amount of goods and services. For instance, with $1, you could purchase several pounds of flour, sugar, and coffee. You could buy enough fabric to make clothes for your entire family, or even pay for a night's stay at a local inn. To put it in perspective, $1 then would be roughly equivalent to $30 to $40 in today's money. This means that the purchasing power of a single dollar was immense compared to what we experience now. That's a big difference. Imagine going to the store today with just $1 and trying to buy a week's worth of groceries. It seems impossible, but in 1860, it was a reality. This means that people living in 1860 could accomplish a lot with just $1. They could stretch their money further and make it work for them in ways that are hard to imagine today. They could purchase essential items, enjoy simple luxuries, and even save a little something for a rainy day. Saving money was a common practice, and people were more mindful of their spending because every dollar counted. And even save a little something for a rainy day. Families would often put aside a portion of their earnings, knowing that having a financial cushion was crucial for unexpected expenses or hard times. It's a stark contrast to the limited buying power of a single dollar in our modern world. Today, a dollar might buy you a small item or two, but it certainly won't cover a week's worth of groceries or a night's stay at a hotel. The value of money has changed dramatically, and with it, our perception of what a dollar can do. In today's fast-paced, technology-driven society, the way we handle money has evolved. Digital transactions have become the norm, and the physical presence of money is becoming less common. Yet, understanding the historical value of a dollar gives us a unique perspective on our economic past and present. Reflecting on the past, we can appreciate how far we've come and how much has changed. The value of a dollar may have shifted, but the lessons from history remain relevant. They remind us of the importance of financial mindfulness and the impact of economic changes on our daily lives. By looking back at the purchasing power of a dollar in 1860, we gain insight into the economic conditions of the time and the resourcefulness of the people who lived through it. It also encourages us to think critically about our own spending habits and the value we place on money today. As we move forward, it's essential to teach future generations about the history of money and its evolving value. By doing so, we can foster a deeper understanding of economics and financial responsibility. So the next time you hold a dollar bill, take a moment to think about its journey through time and the countless hands it has passed through. It's more than just pocket change. It's a piece of history that tells a story of economic evolution and human ingenuity. Let's take a stroll through a hypothetical general store in 1860. Imagine stepping into a quaint, bustling shop, the air filled with the rich aroma of spices and freshly ground coffee. Shelves are lined with an array of goods from basic staples to small luxuries, all within reach of your single dollar. With your dollar in hand, you could fill your basket with a week's worth of staples. Picture yourself picking up essentials like flour, sugar, and salt, all for just a few cents each. The storekeeper, with a friendly nod, hands you a sturdy basket to fill with your purchases. Imagine buying a pound of coffee for a nickel, a dozen eggs for a dime, or a loaf of bread for just a few pennies. The coffee, freshly roasted and ground, would be a treat for your mornings. Eggs, gathered from local farms, would provide nourishment for your family. And the bread, baked daily, would be a staple at every meal. Your dollar could also buy you a simple meal at a restaurant, a ticket to a traveling show, or a new shirt. Imagine sitting down to a hearty meal of stew and bread at a local eatery, the warmth of the food and the chatter of fellow diners creating a cozy atmosphere. Or perhaps you'd prefer to spend your evening at a traveling show, marveling at the performers and their acts. And if you needed new clothes, a crisp new shirt could be yours for just a fraction of your dollar. These examples highlight the significant difference in purchasing power between 1860 and today. Back then, a dollar stretched far, allowing you to purchase a variety of goods and experiences. Today, that same dollar wouldn't go nearly as far, a stark reminder of how times have changed. While a dollar could buy a substantial amount of goods and services in the past, its value has eroded over time due to economic factors like inflation. Inflation, the gradual increase in prices over time, has significantly reduced the purchasing power of money. This means that what once cost a few cents now costs several dollars. The value of the dollar has been eroded by various economic factors, including changes in supply and demand, government policies, and global economic conditions. As we look back at the past, it's fascinating to see how much has changed and how the value of money has evolved over the years. The dollar, once a symbol of substantial purchasing power, now represents a fraction of its former value. This journey through time not only highlights the economic changes, but also offers a glimpse into the daily lives and experiences of people in the past. So next time you hold a dollar bill, remember its rich history and the many stories it carries with it. Now you might be wondering, why has the value of a dollar changed so much? The answer lies in the complex world of economics. Several factors contribute to shifts in purchasing power. One major factor is inflation. Inflation occurs when the supply of money increases relative to the level of productive output in the economy. Prices tend to rise because more dollars are chasing relatively fewer goods. Another way of stating this phenomenon is that the purchasing power of each money unit declines. When prices rise, your money buys less, and its purchasing power decreases. There are other factors at play as well. Economic growth, technological advancements, and even government policies can all influence the value of money over time. It's a delicate balancing act that economists constantly study and analyze.